and girls, today we're going to be talking about this artist, Hundertwasser. I'm not going to read the book to you because it's actually a really long book, but I was wanting to show you it. Hopefully we'll get a chance to do it at some point. His name is Hundertwasser, which is a pretty long name already. But what is really fun about this artist is he changed his name. He was born Friedrich Stowasser, but when he became an artist, he decided, I want to have an artist's name. So he changed his name to Friedenreich, Dunkelbunt, Regentag, Hundertwasser. You may be asking, oh my goodness, why did he change his name to such a long name? Well, there was a reason behind it. Friedrich Stowasser was born at the time of the Second World War. So when he was a little bit older, when he started to become an artist, the war was over and there was peace in the land, and that made him feel happy. So he changed his name from Friedrich to Friedensreich. Friedens means peace in German, and Reich just means kingdom or land. So peace land, he loved the thought of that name for his name. He changed his last name, which was Stowasser, to Hundertwasser, because Stow in the Slavic language means 100, but 100 in German is 100. So 100 and Wasser is water. So he kept the Wasser part, but he changed the start. So he had this really cool long artist's name, Friedenreich Hundertwasser, but he wasn't done yet. He added some more. He really liked rainy days and how the light made things look. So he decided, I'm going to add that to my name too. Regentag is the German word for rainy day. Dark brights are the colours that he liked on those rainy days, and the German word for that was Dunkelbunt. He decided to add that to his name too. So now we have our full name of our artist, Friedensreich, Dunkelbunt, Regentag, Hundertwasser. I thought that's a fun story that you should know about him. We will just call him Hundertwasser from now on because that will be a little bit easier. Okay, he was not only an artist, he was an architect, so he made plans for buildings. He was a designer, he designed some clothes and shoes also. He lived mainly in Austria growing up, but then he moved to a country called New Zealand when he was older, and he lived most of his life there. I hope you had a chance to look at some of his artwork earlier, but if not, we're going to look at a few of the little elements that he added in his artwork. So these are some of the elements. He would use onion domes to be roofs on top of buildings, lollipop trees or flowers, teardrops or raindrops, rows of houses, contour lines, tall hats, hidden faces, floating eyeballs, and lots of spirals. Your project is going to be to make a dream landscape. I've started my dream landscape, I haven't quite finished, but I'm going to show you how we do that in just a second. Okay, so we are going to be making our Hundertwasser dream landscape today, and I have started something like this on a big paper. I'm going to show you an example on a smaller paper, but we can see some of the elements that Hundertwasser used in his artwork. You sometimes see a lot of lollipop trees, onion domes, rows of houses, teardrops, floating eyeballs, maybe a face, or even little hidden faces. We can add some more in. He a lot of the time used big tall hats on his people. And these lines at the bottom are called contour lines. They're lines that follow the same way, the same line. So when I made this first wavy one, the second line followed, and I followed the same direction. So I didn't do like a straight, then a zigzag, then a curvy. They're all following the same contour. Okay, and he normally colored these in contrasting colors. Okay, so I'm just going to put this up for now. I have some of these elements again. We'll just go over them quickly so you can get an idea of what you may want to add. Onion domes, lollipop trees, teardrops or raindrops, rows of houses, contour lines, tall hats, hidden faces, floating eyeballs. Oh, and spirals, I forgot that in the one. I love spirals. Spirals he used a lot of the time. So I'm going to show you my example on a smaller paper just because it's easier to see. I'm holding it landscape. You can use whichever size of paper you wish. I'm going to start with pencil just to add some of those elements. So I'm going to start with my contour lines because I want to have a base to start everything. So my one line, all these other lines need to follow the same contour. And I'm going to do maybe 5 or 6 of those. Maybe I'll put one at the bottom. Ooh. Let's go over there. This is a project that is probably going to take you over a few days. You're probably not going to finish it in one day because we're going to draw it out, we're going to Sharpie it, and then we'll be colouring. So I've added my contour lines. Now I can look at some of the other elements. I want to have some rows of houses. So I'm going to first of all make another little hill here. And I'm going to have some houses right on top. When I have a row of houses, they all join together. Don't forget to add some doors and windows. Remember, Hundertwasser was an architect as well as an artist. So if you get a chance to see some of his really cool buildings, you will see that they had cool shaped windows, or he would do frames around his windows. You can add cool designs in your building too, your little rows of houses too. Okay, so I've added my rows of houses, and I'm going to look at another element that I might want to add. So I love the lollipop flowers or trees, so I'm going to do lots of them over here. To make my lollipop tree, I'm just doing a circle and a circle inside, a circle inside, and then 2 straight lines coming down. You can make them bigger or smaller, and you can make them clump together so they're touching each other or they're overlapping. And you can even get really fancy inside these too. If you got a chance to look at Hundertwasser's work, sometimes there are little lines or little dots within the lollipop trees. I'm going to do some down here. And I want some overlapping. Make sure you connect all your lines. Okay, so I filled up my space with lollipop trees, and I might add another little element in these little spaces. I'm going to do some of those floating eyeballs. Or maybe a little hidden face over here. You can add them wherever you like. Okay, I've got a lot of space over here, so I want to add some more things on this side. I'm going to do one big building here that has an onion dome roof. So this is my big building, and to make my onion dome roof, I'm going to make a little dot in the middle, and it's a curvy line round and a curvy line round. You can put a little ball on the top and then some curvy lines down. You might want to practice doing some of these elements before you start on your big piece. I have some more space here. Oh, let me give a door to my nice big building. You know, I like my onion dome building so much, I'm going to do another one right next to it. This one's going to be tall and thin, but again, it's going to have the onion dome on top. And you can add as many of these as you like. You can get as fancy as you like with them. It's your dream landscape. Maybe you'll have round windows or square windows. In this space here, I'm going to add another element, and I'm going to add those raindrops. When he made the raindrops, they were normally a double raindrop, so you do either a small one and a bigger one around it, or start with the big one and put a small one in the middle. So again, like I said, it's probably a good idea to just practice drawing a few of these elements before you begin, because we are working in pencil today, and I know a lot of people will say, oh no, I don't like it, and they'll erase it, and they'll erase it, and they'll erase it, and then they'll get frustrated. So practice first, and then just go with the flow. Okay, I've got some space here as well. I'm going to add some spirals. So to make a spiral, start in the middle, and you're just going around until you get to an edge. You don't need to have a circle spiral. A spiral could also be a triangle. So you'd start with your triangle, but don't join it, and then just continue to spiral around. Or it could even be a square. Here. Okay, so I've added most of the elements now. Maybe I'm going to have one little person here with a tall hat. So I'm making my hat first. And I'm going to do a little face. Most of the Hundertwasser faces had eyes that went straight to the side. They're a little weird looking. Okay. And you can add as many faces as you like, or as many people in hats. Okay, this person's hiding behind there. I'll just add his little shoulders there. Okay, just finish off filling the space, because you really do want to fill the space as much as you can. Okay, so once you've done your pencil part, then you do need to go over in Sharpie. So as I said, maybe you would do this one day, and then you do the Sharpie the next day. And I will give you a little bit more time on this project, because I know it's definitely a longer one. So you will outline everything in Sharpie, just going slowly when you're making your Sharpie lines. But when I do my spiral, I'm not going to go fast. I'm going really slowly and calmly. And I'm remembering to connect. So let's pretend that I've filled all that up, and we go back to my other example. So I'd drawn, I had Sharpied, I would erase some of my pencil lines before I colored. And then I'm just going to start to color in the spaces. Hundertwasser liked dark, bright colors. You can use any colors you like to fill up your landscape. You can use a combination. I used here a combination of markers and pencils, but you can really use whatever you like. If you want to use watercolor, you can do that. You can use crayon, you can use Sharpies, whatever you really have. One little small tip about when you're coloring with markers especially, don't color big areas with marker. We all know what happens if I color a big area. My marker's going to run out before I have time to finish it. So I'm going to do smaller areas with my marker, and I'm going to always go in one direction. I know it seems like it's going to take me longer rather than going back and forth, but it just gives a neater look if I go in one direction. So I don't want to go I want to just do it in one direction. Actually, same thing if you're using colored pencil. It's a similar idea. You want to not go round and round or back and forth really fast. And you're going back and forth, but slower, right? So that you can color it neatly. Okay, I'm not going to finish this today because I know it's going to take a long time. I am going to suggest you probably will want to work on the smaller paper, just because it will take you a long time by the time you draw and you outline and you color. I hope you have fun making these, and I really can't wait to see them.